branches unconstitutional. Scene 1. John Adams sits in the White House in his final days as President of the United States.
In 1800, John Adams faced off against Thomas Jefferson in a presidential election. John Adams lost the election in his final days in office. He appointed 58 men to fill federal jobs. One of the men, William Marbury, was appointed as Justice of the Peace for Washington, D.C.
Well, that's the last of the appointments. I can't believe I lost that election to Jefferson. At least I get to fill the job openings with members of the Federalist Party. Let's see what Republicans think about that.
John Marshall enters the scene.
Mr. President, I heard you had a task for me.
Yes, as my Secretary of State, I'd like to finish this paperwork and deliver the appointments to each man I've selected.
Absolutely, sir. I'll get right on it.
Unfortunately, John Marshall was only able to deliver 41 of the appointments. There was simply not enough time to finish the last 17 documents, so he left them behind at the White House.
There's only 17 appointments left to deliver. They're almost complete, and it should be easy for the new Secretary of State, James Madison, to finish them up. I'm sure everything will be fine.
All exit the scene. Scene 2. Thomas Jefferson moves into the White House. He sets up a meeting with his Secretary of State, James Madison.
Mr. Madison, I heard that John Marshall left behind 17 appointments.
Yes, sir. Would you like for me to deliver them?
Absolutely not. Why would I want to appoint members of the Federalist Party to these jobs when I can nominate members of my own party? John Adams waited too long to finish the task. It's my right as President of the United States to fill these appointments, these positions now.
James Madison followed Thomas Jefferson's directions and did not deliver the final appointments. When William Marbury found out, he became very angry.
Whoa! This is outrageous! How dare President Jefferson refuse to give me the job as Justice of the Peace of Washington, D.C.? I'll sue him and force James Madison to deliver that letter to me. President Adams gave me the job before he left office. No matter what President Jefferson says. John's fine.
All exit the scene. Scene 3. The Supreme Court justices meet to discuss the case of Marbury versus Madison.
When the case got to the U.S. Supreme Court, there was a new Chief Justice, John Marshall. The same John Marshall who had failed to deliver the last 17 appointments.
Secretary of State James Madison's actions are unconstitutional. I have left those job letters behind, and they were still official appointments. William Marbury should be given the job he was promised by President John Adams.
Well, is that your job then?
Unfortunately not. We believe that Madison should deliver the letters to you, but we can't force him to do so.
Why? You see, this is the Supreme Court. You can't tell the President, Secretary of State to appoint me as a Justice of the Peace.
If the U.S. Supreme Court forced the Secretary of State to deliver the letters, it would make the Supreme Court more powerful than the executive branch.
Chief Justice John Marshall was right. The U.S. Constitution designed the branches of the government to be separate but equal.
Here's something else to think about, William. If we told Mr. Madison to deliver the letters, and he said no, the Supreme Court has no power to actually do anything to punish him. It would make us look weak.
So, you're saying I won the case, but I won't become Justice of the Peace in Washington, D.C.?
Yes, that's right. It's been a very hard decision to make, but it's a fair judgment.
Yeah. Yes, you're right. Still not happy.
Marbury v. Madison was a landmark case because it gave the U.S. Supreme Court the power of judicial review. This is the power of the judicial branch to declare laws and government actions unconstitutional. This made sure that all three branches of the government have equal power. The end.